Hello there everyone, how you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going into r/malicious compliance, where people wreck rude people just by doing as they're told. If you enjoy, please like and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get started, okay? Landlord tries to exploit me for free labor. I'm renting a little house past the suburbs of the city I am currently working in. It is a little old, and the appliances are a bit dated, but it was much cheaper than a 2-bedroom apartment downtown, and I move around every couple of years for work. My landlord lives out of state and doesn't have anyone local. So, for the past year and a half, I haven't talked to anyone. I just pay my rent on time and keep doing my thing. About 4 months ago, plumbing issues started popping up, and my 2 major appliances decided to give up the ghost. I notified my landlord via email and written letter. I rent a lot and I have learned to abide by the exact wording in a lease. After several follow-up emails and phone calls, a local handyman showed up to look at everything and provide a quote. After receiving a quote for the parts plus labor, the landlord told me flat out that he will not be paying for the repairs. They said that since I'm an engineer, they would allow me to purchase parts, install them, and then deduct the cost of the repairs from the rent payment. They said it was either this or learn to make do. I was not super thrilled at this response. I replied back to them saying that if they were willing to deduct my time and the cost of my parts from rent, that I would get started immediately. Thank you very much. They were thrilled to hear it and asked me to send receipts for their records when everything is finished. Great. Now to put together all the pieces and get to work. The first step was to file for an LLC with my current state. Next, I set up some cameras and borrowed a GoPro from one of my hiking mates. I was able to document all the repair process, from me watching YouTube videos of how to do things to me making multiple runs out to the parts store to get that piece I didn't know I needed. And here's the kicker. At my day job, I make over $50 an hour. That's what my time is valued at. The final bill for everything has worked out to be about 12% higher than the quoted cost, and the landlord is very upset. But my lawyer, added to the email chain, has kept them very civil. A customer was upset I didn't give her the right amount of fish, and she was right. I used to work at a mom and pop store that sold clothes, farm supplies, animals, and sporting goods. Anyway, since we sold sporting goods, we also sold bait, fish. Fishermen would frequently stop by our store to buy them to fish with, and they were sold by the dozen. Usually when I scooped bait, I would give a few extra fish to my customers. I had one Russian lady come in to purchase bait fish. Just as I normally did, I scooped a net full of fish and started dumping them into the bag and counting them individually, and added a few extra to the bag. The lady watched me do this, but insisted that I did not give her the correct amount, and I assured her that I not only gave her the dozen she paid for, but I gave her a few extra. I literally just counted and have done this long enough that I was really good at eyeing when it was over a dozen. The lady just kept insisting that I didn't give her enough, so I said, okay, let's count together to be sure. So I dumped all the fish from the bag back in the net, and we started counting together very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. We get to 12, and it's very clear there are several extra fish still in the net. I look up at her and was like, oh, you were right. I didn't give you the right amount. I then proceeded to dump the remaining fish back into the tank right in front of her and gave her exactly the amount she paid for. Update: she ended up just looking bewildered when I handed her the fish to her and left. Really nothing more she could have done at that point, but I did start applying this philosophy to the customers who bought crickets. Ah, perfect. You demanded my entire team be at the office for the 4th of July. Fine, enjoy paying for the office party. So, this starts on Monday, the 13th, as I receive an email from a VP not over my department, or bad VP. I am told that my team will be required on the 4th. I politely tell them that our team has been scheduled this day off, and people already have plans. My team is the IT team, and as many of you know, IT gets shafted every time it can get shafted by any company. So, over the course of the week, I let my team know what is happening. I let them know I have been reaching to the higher-ups to fix it. I also tell them that if their plans are ruined, I will make it right at work. Over the course of the 3 meetings, it started to look like things will go my way. In response, I send an email to the CEO of the company. All my higher-ups know I was going to do this, and said I should do this as he is very family-oriented, and he would not allow anyone to work on a national holiday. Well, he's on vacation in the Bahamas until the 6th, but his assistant informed me he would look at this after he gets back. Repeatedly slams head into desk. Oh my god, just like... That's my hand, but I'm actually going to hit my head against the desk. I have few enough brain cells as it is left. So I tell everyone that I will be working from home, and that we will be settling my phone call as priority in the call routing. Meanwhile, I would get most of the calls. To be honest, I was expecting almost 0 calls, especially since I was asked to send out a notification that IT support would cover the 4th of July. I never sent that email out. A day later, I was given another outrage. I was told in an email that my employees would be required to be at the office, and no one was allowed to work at home. They'd be checking the door badges to verify we were at the office. I asked why in an email, and they said they only wanted to make sure no one was playing video games at work. We normally work from home about 2/3 of the week, and video game playing is a normal occurrence at work. So, I walk into the person's office after a very long conversation where she was losing the logic war with me. She told me that it's just IT, you guys don't have lives. No, I am not kidding you. This is exactly what they told me. I reported this to my VP, who said, I will take care of this. It likely won't be until after the 4th, so get creative. I know this man well. We have worked together a long time, and get creative is code for corporate fuckery. I asked the person requiring us to be at the office if they cared if we had an office party. They said no, as long as it did not interfere with the call flow. Even suggested using my new company card to pay for it. Go wild. Pro tip, never let me go wild. At this point, it was Tuesday, the 21st. I let everyone know what's up, but that I have something planned. I asked who had things planned for that day. 2 people told me they were planning to shoot off fireworks with their family, but the rest were planning barbecues with friends. I write up an email to the VP over at my department and the bad VP. I tell them that I let everyone know we were all expected to work until 8 p.m. Monday. Per the conversation with bad VP, I'll be having an office party as a sort of sorry to the guys and gals who got shafted by this decision. The bad VP replied again, "Thank you for your understanding. Also, yes, I would expect an office party if I had to work on the 4th of July as well. So, Go wild and enjoy your time. Use your new company credit card if you need to cover a few expenses. Also, I should not have to remind you, or anyone else, no fireworks or alcohol on company property. So, now it's time to tell you something about my office. See, a while back, the IT team was moved from the main corp office into a smaller building by itself. It has a nice gaming break room, a decent sized gym, and a full-on drink bar. Soft drinks, mind you. Soda's pretty poggers. No alcohol at work. Out back is a big patio that crosses county lines as soon as you cross a small creek. A creek that just so happens to have a footbridge over it leading to an empty field. So, I start making phone calls. Monday, June the 25th. I call up everyone into an hour early meeting that morning. I explained to them that I will be making it right, and I asked everyone to invite their friends and family into the office. No supplies will be needed to be brought by anyone. I tell them that this will be non-alcoholic, but I will be planning something for everyone. I told them to expect all food to be provided, and they didn't need to bring anything, unless they want to bring some fireworks, so they don't have to spend a dime. The 4th comes, and the entire day we did absolutely no work. No tickets, no calls came in. Well, 7 calls did come in, but from the same person, the bad VP. She was calling to make sure we were manning the phones, and all of us were playing video games or watching movies. 6 p.m. rolls around, and everyone was told that the food was ready. People were expecting hot dogs, hamburgers, and maybe a bratwurst or two. What they got was a full-on barbecue feast with pizza and other foods. There was smoked brisket, spare ribs, smoked sausage, smoked turkey, both kinds of tartar salad, coleslaw, green beans with bacon and onion, potatoes au gratin, pizza from 2 different places, excellent hamburgers, and bratwurst hot dogs. On the side was cake, very good cookies, 4 different kinds of pies, and about 2 pounds of fudge. Family and friends started showing up around 6:15ish. Some bought alcohol, but I told them they would need to leave that in their cars, as I was not that crazy. Some were not too happy about that, but agreed, as long as it was a free dinner from random strangers. So, let me set the scene for you. I'm out here with all calls routed to my cell phone, and everyone just having a good time. We have a ton of people there just enjoying the fun night, chatting about random stuff, eating the food, and occasionally lighting off some sparklers or throwing firecrackers into the stream. It's not stocked and only 1 foot deep. My VP, not the bad VP mind you, showed up with his family and bought some water balloons for his kids. And man-children. Around 8:30ish, it's getting dark, and people want to shoot off more than the simple sparklers and firecrackers we've been using. The VP over the IT department had everyone cross the footbridge, over county line and off company property, mind you, and we set up a big wooden board using it as our launch pad. We fired off what we had for an hour or two, and just sort of hung out for a little while. At around this time, people were tired and ready to head home. I told people to take some leftovers, within reason. We all clocked out and ate, and no one left until about 10:30. The bad VP did call once more while we were out back with the party. It was 7:50 and she called asking for a status update. My exact words were, "Well, you were the only one to call us today. The rest of us are on the back patio, enjoying the 4th of July shindig." She simply acted like my boss and said, "As long as no alcohol or fireworks are on company property, I do not care." We ate roughly half the food catered, the rest was taken home. A small group volunteered to stay behind to clean up, including my VP. We had a funny conversation about how much this will make waves with the bosses, but he said that he had my back and asked me how much this cost. I just gave him a sideways look, which made him laugh. Tuesday morning, I submitted the expense report to my VP. The email would inevitably make its way over to the bad VP and up the chain to the CIO of the company. It would be a bad idea to give out the exact cost of the party, mind you, but I can tell you that because of this 4th of July party, new rules were put in place. Any expenses of over 4K or more must be approved by the direct supervisor, VP over the department, and the full expense report must be sent to the financial department for review after the fact. And here's a hint. The party cost over 6K. The barbecue is the most expensive part. I did not order from a low or mid-tier place. The place I ordered from had consistently been the top 10 DFW listing for the past 30 years. I ate at that place so much I made friends with the owner. The best barbecue I've ever had. The pies and cakes were custom made by a bakery, and the cookies were made by a boutique cookie place. I had 10 to 12 packs of Coke, Coke Zero, Dr. Pepper Zero, and Pepsi Zero. I bought 5 pepperoni, 5 sausage, 5 cheese, 2 Hawaiian, you filthy animal, and 3 cheeseburger pizzas from one place, and nearly the same number from another place. Excluding the cheeseburger ones I subbed out for a different specialty pizza from the other place. The burgers were from an excellent burger place that did catering. I know that owner well. He bought his kids for the night of fun after he heard what was going to be happening. He was also the one who bought the brat dogs as he recently added those to his menu. This was the most expensive office party in the history of the company. The only things more expensive than this were some business meetings that the CEO rented private rooms in high-end restaurants for. As for the CEO, he was outraged. Well, not at the cost of the party, mind you. He knew that the party would not have been necessary if people had been allowed to go home. He was outraged that IT was the only group required to work that day. And when I submitted the log showing how we received no real phone calls, no service requests, and that we basically watched movies and played video games during our shift, he had heard enough. He apparently sent out a scathing email about work-life balance and the importance of our holidays to every single upper management. It was kind of funny, as people wanted me to get in trouble for what I did, but the reality is other departments have done similar things in the past, just not on the scale that IT did. The bad VP was admonished quite effectively and sent me an apology email. I forwarded it to the team with a strong hint to not reply. Then the VP let the CIO and the CEO know about what the bad VP said. You guys don't have lives. The bad VP did actually confirm she said it in a meeting with her EVP. It did not go over well. I have never heard people yelling in an office meeting like that before. The CEO of the company came into our office and yelled at her. Not sure if she was fired, but she's not at work today. In Active Directory, she does not have the down arrow of death, so not 100% sure what happened to her. I know she lost whatever clout she had at this company with her attitude, however. If anything more happens, I will update, but so far, it looks like the fallout from this is I caused a new rule to be put into place about how much you are allowed to spend at one time. The bad VP may or may not be let go or forced to resign, and I know she got yelled at. Strangely, there is now no longer any pushback for my bid to get everyone back to working from home. Ooh, that's a spicy story. Amazing, too. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and check me out at the platforms over here. Now, I hope you have an amazing day. Have the best time you can, and remember to take care of yourselves. Hydrate, and I throw a potato at you. Yoink!